Hi, this is Elena Maria Fouché with Mindfulness Made Easy. I want to talk a little bit about what happens as we practice mindfulness, specifically what happens with our thoughts, and of course, our emotions and our physical sensations. Sometimes we have this idea that when we meditate, we're not going to have thoughts. We're going to still our minds or calm our minds and stop thinking. And you might even think that you're going to stop having emotions or stop having physical sensations. And it can be really hard for people to let go of that idea. I have a client who's been really struggling with this for a while. So I just want to just address this for a moment or two and just point out something that you've probably already heard that I think is really important. And that is that when we meditate and practice mindfulness and do these kinds of things, we're not ever going to stop thinking or feeling or having physical sensations. What does happen is that our relationship with those things changes. So let me give you a real life example. The issue of self-confidence has been coming up a lot lately. I just sat and listened to someone give a speech, and I didn't know this person, and right before the speech he just turned to me and he said, "I'm about to make a fool of myself." And I said, "Oh, really?" And he said, "Yeah, I have no idea what I'm talking about." And I looked at him and I said, "Well, does anyone really know?" And he just smiled and said, "I'm kind of working out that no one does either." So we had this really funny moment, and then he gave up and of course gave a brilliant speech. And if I hadn't known that he was feeling this lack of self-confidence, I wouldn't have known. And also, another example is it just came to me. I was listening to some really amazing teachers this morning, and it really hit me that these people have, 20 years more experience than I do teaching. And wow, they're so good. And it really gave me this big hit of lack of self-confidence in my work, in teaching, and in sharing things with you, as I'm doing right now. And, 10 years ago, before I started meditating, what would have happened to me when I had that big hit, that big thought and emotion and even physical sensation of feeling not confident? It would have really derailed me. It would have really gotten me. It would have been a big deal. As my friend would say, I'd make a big meal out of it. And it would have really messed up my whole day. That man, it could have really messed up his speech if he'd have gone up really feeling like he didn't know what he was doing and that no one should be listening to him. And yet now that I've meditated for so long, now that I've practiced mindfulness for a while, the difference is that, okay, I had that thought, I had that feeling, and my relationship with it is different. Instead of just totally diving into the thought and the feeling and really just dwelling in it and kind of chewing it and becoming it and letting it be my whole day or hour or whatever, I saw it come. I saw the feeling, I saw the thought, and I have space from it. My relationship with it is different. I'm able to look at it and go, okay, I'm feeling that. I'm thinking that. Okay. And because I can be open like that, because I can have some space between me and the thought and the feeling, and because I'm not just going, oh, and just contracting and having a really hard time, I can breathe. I can relax. I can be wise. I can be creative with it, and so, like me just being able to say that to that man, it helped him just kind of break out of that cycle. He gave a great speech, and it was wonderful, and no one knew that he lacked self-confidence before that except for me. And I'm about to go out through the rest of my day, and no one's going to know that I had that big hit of self-confidence just 5 minutes ago, because I was able to relate to it in a really different way. I was able to be calm through it. I still felt it. It was still really strong, and yet I breathed through it. I was able to be creative and really let it express, and then think about, okay, you know, what is my value as a teacher? What is my value as someone who can share things with you and with anyone, really? And I could look at that and understand the value of what I'm doing, instead of being completely overwhelmed by feeling valueless. So I hope that helps. And I hope that that either makes it clear or is a really good reminder for you of, you know, what happens when we meditate, what happens when we practice mindfulness, and we're able to change that relationship with our thoughts and feelings, which are still here. They're still here. And yet our relationship with them becomes really different, much more intelligent, much more wise, much more creative, much more spacious and open. Take care, beautiful souls. Hope that helps, and see you later. Bye.